Hello, hello. How is everyone on this lovely Thursday evening? Today was a lovely day, definitely a spring day in Florida. I hope everyone is well. I am Danette Herrera. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the USA, and this is Savvy Stamps Facebook Live. Tonight, we only have, can you believe how time is flying? We only have 3 days left of celebration. So to earn any free products, you have to put an order in by February 28th. 3 days away, can hardly believe it, it zipped by. So tonight I thought we'd play with some of the very pretty designer series paper. It's free with a $50 purchase. It's Flower and Field designer series paper. So I will show you what we'll be creating. I just did, I don't know if they're simple cards, maybe a little step up from simple, but they're pretty simple cards, and it's really trying to show off the designer series paper was the goal of today's live, because we have some beautiful designer series paper. Forgive me if I'm distracted. I'm just trying to pull myself up so I could see your comments. There we go. Now I can see, and we're good to go. Okay, so let's flip around and let's get started. I'll show you the paper. Beautiful paper. Hopefully we won't have any shadows and everything will be good today. I said last week I was going to get a new setup for my stand, and it was a very busy week and I did not get to do that. But hopefully it's all straight. I just got to give it a minute to catch up on the screen so I can see what you guys see. Oh, I wanted to mention too that my blog domain name changed. So I'm savvy-stamps. There should be an S, stamps.com. So savvy-stamps.com. And this week we're having a blog hop on Saturday. So Team Stamp It, which is Tammy White's team, I'm part of Tammy's downline, is having their blog hop. And we're doing spring this week. So I hope you can hop over to our blogs. You can possibly have... you have a chance to win a free prize, not possibly, you do. So that would be fun on Saturday if you can come join us. Okay, so Celebration. Celebration has lots of wonderful products that you earn either with a purchase of $50 or $100. So the designer series paper that I focused on, all the papers are beautiful. But I decided to use, I haven't really played with it much, so I decided to use this Flower and Field designer series paper. So let me show you the paper. So paper has some beautiful, obviously it's what it says, flowers and fields, so beautiful, beautiful patterns. This is that side, 2 of each pattern. There's that one we just looked at. Here's another one. I need to get you guys just a hair higher, don't I? Oh, cockeyed, sorry. See if that helps a little bit more. There we go. Okay, sorry. So let's see, let's start from the back since we already started from. So this is a stripe, this is a smaller flower print. There's some green leaves. There's some blue roses, pretty flowers, daisies, polka dots. So let me show you some of the cards I came up with using this. The only other designer series paper, one card has a piece of the black and white True Love designer series paper. But other than that, we just focused on the celebration paper. Here we go. So first one's quite simple, and I did use a variety of stamp sets. The first one is a little thank you card, and we used the Daisy Designer Series paper, and then the opposite side is the Bumblebee. Oh, I did not tell you the coordinating colors. So in this Designer Series paper, the coordinating colors are, let me see, I can't read it. Bumblebee, Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Shaded Spruce, So Saffron, and they all coordinates with our Whisper White. I hope I'm not frozen. It looks like I may be frozen on the screen and slightly crooked. Let me see if I can straighten you out. So, bring you down just a hair. So I just layered up some Designer Series paper. We used the Daisy stamp set. And this stamp set is also a celebration item. This stamp set is Heal Your Heart. But I love the font, and it has this beautiful thank you on it. So, so we could get started with that one. So let's pull out that stamp set. So we have that one. Put the card up there so we have that. There you guys go. I just want to make sure I'm really straight. Okay, so we're using I used a thick Whisper White cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So it's your fold with your spine down the side versus down the top. We'll set that aside. Now we're going to layer up some. So this is the black cardstock, and I found the easiest way to make these layers is, so you have 2 sheets of the Designer Series paper, and this is the red little flower on one side, and it's the polka dotted bumblebee on the other side. So we're going to use the bumblebee side, and then we have a daisy strip. So these 2 strips are 5.5 by 3/4 of an inch. So we have 2 of those, and this one measures 5.5 by 2 inches. Now we're going to use our grid paper a bit. So what I want to do is, oh, I'm going to open this one. I do apologize if anyone's on here and you're commenting. For some reason, I don't see any comments at all. So I shall carry on. And forgive me if you're commenting and I can't see it, I will be sure to answer it afterwards. So what I did was to create, hello Andre, I saw one comment. I created the border, but I just wanted the border to be about 1/4 of an inch. So what I did was, by the corner of your grid paper, pull this up so you guys can see a little bit, I put the bumblebee side up. So this is, this one is a little over, but on the edge of the reverse side, so I want the daisy side, so on the reverse side, just around the side, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to match it up. So I put it right here at the 1/4 inch mark, and then I want to match it up to the grid paper to the line up here. So when you match it up here, let me bring you down just a hair. So that'll get your measurement perfectly straight that way. I mean, a lot of times I eyeball it and I'm pretty close, but if you're not good at that. So then what I did was flip it over, and again on this piece, you're just putting a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to put this over here in our corner here. So I use liquid glue because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so that's the 1/4 inch mark here, past there. So 1/4 inch there. Let me make sure now I moved it a little bit. There you go, and you match it up here. So move that over just a hair and bring that down just a hair. There we go, perfect. There you go. So you have that centerpiece done. Give that a second to dry. Now, while that's drying, before we adhere to the black piece, where's my extra? Here we go. So the first thing I want to do is stamp some daisies. So this set is from the Daisy Lane. This is the medium Daisy Punch, and this is the Daisy Lane set. So I was going to use some, what I did first actually was emboss. So to get this, I embossed it. I don't know if you guys can see. It gives it a nice texture, and then I colored it with some Pool Party. You could use Pool Party ink, like an aqua painter or a blender pen, and pick up the ink. I use the Stampin' Blend markers. So let me, if you don't have an embossing buddy, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell it anymore, you can use a dryer sheet. Anything that's going to take the static off a little bit. I've heard some people say they take a baby stock and put some cornstarch in it. That as well. So we're going to stamp 2 because we want to layer them. It's hard to see. You do get a little shadow from the Versamark, so just try not to stamp over the other image. Okay, let me close that up for a sec. Get my white embossing powder. And I just like the embossing powder to sit on it a second. There we go. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that better, but now we have, can you guys see that? It's hard, it's white on white. Sorry if it gets a little loud. We're just gonna heat it up. There we go. Knock that embossing powder. Now you just take your punch, you're going to slide it in and just line it up as best you can. The lights are giving me a little bit of a shadow, but I think it'll be fine. How are you this evening, Miss Andre? Miss Andre, you were busy crafting. What gorgeous cards you made over the weekend. I was going to take a poll. I thought about doing a scrapbook for my husband. His birthday's coming up in a month and a half. I know I don't mostly do cards and 3D projects, but I thought, would any of you guys be interested in some scrapbook pages or some memory books? Thought about starting a few of those. There we go. So we got the 2 of those. I'm going to set them aside right this second. And since we're embossing, we're going to emboss our sentiment. Now our sentiment comes from, what did I do with it? Comes from the Heal Your Heart. I just really enjoy this. Thank you. Let me put this Daisy one back. We're done with that. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to heat emboss this, but I'm going to use black embossing powder for this one. And I don't know if I need to do the embossing buddy again, but it can never hurt. Get the Versamark ink. And I'm going to cut this out. Now, I did fuzzy cut this out and I popped it up on the mini dimensionals, but if you didn't want to do this, you don't like fuzzy cutting, you could easily put it on a circle, an oval, you know, a label die, whatever you want. I'm just stamping it so it fits right now. I'll use the black embossing powder. Oh, don't like the way that took. Let's do one more time. We'll get that a little bit of excess off. Now, you can use, I have a little brush. You can use a little brush. The other thing you can do for the real little, oops, I brushed off where I didn't want to. Let me cut this daisy off. I think it's gonna make it easier for me. What's with that? I may be stamping this over again. I don't know why that doesn't want to take right there. Okay, I'm not going to use that one. Let me grab another scrap piece of paper. Let me toss that one instead of playing around. Let me grab another scrap piece of paper. And we shall just start over. There we go. First some mark ink. Let's ink it up very good. And hopefully that time we've done it. Better, but I still have this funky. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it out. But if you didn't want to cut that out, you can easily use lots of the label dies, label punches. You can punch it out with a punch. You don't have to fuzzy cut it out. Okay, let's grab the heat tool again. And that was just black embossing powder. And if your paper wants to curl, like this was just doing when I did this way, see how it's curling? Just flip it the other way. Curl it the other way. Do it from the other side, it'll curl back. Straighten out for you. Okay. Give that a second to cool. Set that aside and we can put our daisy together. So I'm just going to glue dot. Oh, actually, we've got to color it first. So I'm going to use Pool Party. I use the dark Pool Party Stampin' Blend marker. Just to kind of, because do you see the paper is white with a little bit of Pool Party? So I just wanted to add a little bit of Pool Party color. You could do the whole thing, you could do part of it. But because we heat emboss, it's got that resist. So it's not going to color all of it necessarily in, which is fine. That's the kind of way we want it. Coloring is so relaxing and therapeutic. It's so calming. There's something about coloring. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we can take a glue dot, put it in the center, and then you want to offset the petals to make it nice and full. Oops. Here we go. And it's a glue dot so you can move it a little bit. Now the other thing I did for the center of this is I took one of these clear and a frosted epoxies and colored it. Now I did use Pool Party originally, but maybe to match the paper this time we can try some Daffodil Delight and see how that takes to that. Oh, that's kind of cool. These are the frosted ones. I tried the clear ones. You may like them. I didn't like them as well as the frosted ones. And that's going to be our center of our daisy. So that part's done. Now I'm just going to cut some of this excess off so we can, I can fuzzy cut this out. Again, when you're fuzzy cutting, just move the paper and let your scissors do the work. And there's not like right or wrong to, if you just want to cut the whole thing out, if you want to go in between the words. This one, I wanted it to stay together. Oops, I got too close there. I wanted it to stay together, the thank and the you. But you could separate it quite easily. Oh, I got too close. I wanted a little bit of a border, but apparently I can't cut and talk at the same time. Used to hate this, but I have to say, once you do it, for me, it's like coloring now. I actually enjoy it. And you can fuzzy cut like a whole thing out if you wanted to do a whole bunch. You just have to, if you're going to go in front of the TV, have something that you don't have to like totally pay attention to. Almost there. So if you didn't want to heat emboss, you could have easily just stamped the daisy with an ink, punched it out to save a step, and you could have stamped the sentiment just in black memento ink or black ink onto a label, so you don't even have to cut it out. So to simplify the card, it's pretty easy to simplify it. If you don't want to heat emboss, you absolutely don't have to. All right, let's just cut this part out. Sorry, I do apologize for missing last week. It was crazy. Sometimes I get very, very bad headaches. Just one of those things. Okay, there we go. Get some of that embossing powder off of here. Here, let me shake this out. I can feel that. Okay, so now all we have to do is put it together. So again, if you want, you use your grid paper. This is 4 inches wide. And this becomes, once you attach your other pieces, this becomes 2 3/4, just under 3 3 1/4. So to center it, you could eyeball it, but I put this at 1 2 3 4 5/8. So if you line up this side and line up here, you pretty much, I'll be straight and have it lined up, and it'll be even. There you go. And don't worry if it's overlapping slightly, you could always trim it, because I see mine is slightly over. I have big scissors, I'll just go from the back and trim it up a hair. There you go. Perfect. Okay, now I took the mini dimensionals and I cut strips for some of this. Some of it'll fit with the mini dimensionals pretty well, like right there and there. But then the other pieces need something. So I just cut the strip from the mini dimensionals and place them where I need them. Let me take that sticky back off, maybe. Maybe not. We have foam adhesive strips. That would work as well. They're a little bigger though. So I just found that the cutting your mini dimensionals a strip off works really well. And pretty much fits on here perfectly. And again, you don't have to do this part. If you want, you could just put it on a label and then put the label on dimensionals. Oh, that one's just a hair too long. Let me trim that. Hello, Cindy. I know you like to dig through your markers. I have mine in an organizational thing in front of me, the Stampin' Up! One. But when I'm working with them, they're all over my desk. Or if I take them in the other room to color in front of the TV, I just dump them in a bin. Organize them later. So I guess I'm organized and messy at the same time. I don't know if that's possible, but very true. Where's the sticky side? I think that's good. I'm fussing too much here. So I tried to make tonight all about the designer series paper. So you don't really want, you just want to show it off. You don't, and there's so many, I mean, I don't know, every time I say Stampin' Up's done it again, they come out with another catalog or another designer series paper that I love even more. That one not sticking. Hang on. That one came off. There we go. Because you don't want to see it from the back. Now it's stuck to my finger. Well, at least we know they're sticky. And I don't often like things straight, so here we are, crooked. All right, now I just use, now my glue dots were right here. Where'd they go? Here they are. I just used a glue dot to put on the daisy as well. Where did I put the daisy? Here. Here we go. And then we just glue that down to your card base. Now you could put it on a black card base. That would look really pretty too. I just used white because I kind of wanted the, let me put it the right way. I just wanted the white. And I did not make a border all the way around. I cut it 5.5 even. And I did a 1/4 inch. I need a new, when your paper starts to fray a little bit, it's time for a new blade on your cutter. Obviously I need to put a new blade on because that's a little frayed. If you take your pick tool, I just run it under the edge and it kind of cleans it up a little bit. I think it hides it underneath. I don't know, but it makes it go away, so I don't care. So there we go. Now inside, where's my inside piece? Oh, did I miss my inside piece? I've been trying to do better about, so what I did originally was just take a piece and I put it on the top instead of the bottom. But I seem to have misplaced that one. Let me see if I can grab one quick. See if this is long enough, maybe. Trying to be more complete with y'all, and I can try and use that one. Let's see, 1 inch should be good. And do the card, the outside, the inside, as well as an envelope. Because truth be known, it's better that way. Because when I go to pull a card to send it out, I have to do the envelope and stuff. So this way it's done for me as well. Okay. So there we go. Just something on the inside. I like, most of the time, I may stamp a little sentiment, but I like leaving them pretty blank so then I can use it the way I want to. And this is the envelope, and quick and easy, because we want to still show off that, oh, that blobbed out. Still show off the designer series paper. So just put a little bit of liquid glue. You could use the Stampin' Seal. It just doesn't give you room to wiggle. And I just do the flap to match the designer series paper. There we go. And I just fold it and make sure before I, there we go. Just rub a little bit and then you just have to trim it around. I just grabbed these. You can use anything. The Stampin', the snips are perfectly fine. Quick and easy. Easy peasy. Thank you, Andre. You like that? I'm finding I'm trying really hard the last couple of weeks to use the designer series papers because I use them, but then I get gung-ho, use half a pack, and then it sits there. So I'm really trying hard to use, you know, more of the product. So that's the first card with the envelope. Oh, that's the strip. I was like, now I found the strip. Okay, now the second one I used the Darling Donkeys. for the Celebration stamp set. I didn't use all Celebrations, but that's the one I chose for that one. So let me show you the card. So he's a fun guy, little Casanova guy. I think it was you, Cindy, that called him a Casanova. I thought it was great. So for this piece, what's this one called? True Love is the only designer series paper. Otherwise, we're using the, let me get this one out of the way. It's going to confuse me. So these colors are Balmy Blue. This is the pattern with the blue rose on one side and the green leaf on the other side. And our Darling Donkey. And so here are my measurements for this one. Let me put that there so I don't lose that. Okay, so we're doing a regular card base again. And we're scoring it. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I use thick basic white. But you could use regular whisper white. Oh, again, basic white. You know, when you've had something so long. Okay, so let's stamp our donkey. We're going to do a little coloring with our donkey. I liked the Casanova dude. Let me put that away so I don't lose that. I don't really ever have too much trouble losing the red rubber, but I have trouble losing the photopolymer. You know what? Maybe I'll just... There we go. Okay, I'm going to use Memento because we're going to color him. But last time the Memento was alive, so let's get it out of the way. So I don't get it on where I'm not supposed to. There we go. Give it a little scrub. So cute, Mr. Casanova here. All right, so I used Smoky Slate. I used a little Balmy Blue for the flower and a little Petal Pink for his ears. So let's get the light Smoky Slate. So we'll color him quick. Oh no, I want dark for his ears. I lied. Let's get the dark Smoky Slate. Just gonna color the top of his ear. Trying to do it without getting in your way. Do a little bit of his tail. If you don't have the markers, you could use a blender pen and pick up the ink. You could use watercolor pencils. You can stamp it in StazOn and use our water painters. Lots of different things we have to color with. This is the light one. I'm going to try and go quick for you guys. You don't need to watch me color. I know some people do so great with shading and stuff. I try. Sometimes it comes out great and I impress myself, and sometimes just becomes lucky. Some people are actually phenomenal, and they use that, you could use the color lifter to do even more shading. Just kind of go around his nose, his stem. There we go. I know I'm going to miss this guy, huh? Well, I'm keeping him, but won't be available anymore. This is a little, this is dark petal pink. I just want to give his ears a little pinky to his ears. Put a little pink in his nose. Change my mind, I don't want that pink in his nose. There we go. Granny Apple Green, my favorite green. I don't know what I'll do if they have Granny Apple Green go away. I like other greens, to be honest with you. Pear Pizzazz is pretty green. This is Light Seaside Spray. Oh, actually, I think I want to do that part dark. There we go. Okay. So he's colored quickly. So he's done, and now we got to layer up. So we have a balmy blue piece that measures 5 1/4 by 4 1/8, and then I have a designer series with the rose on it that measures 5 1/8 by 4. So we're just going to layer those two things together. This card is, you probably easily could use regular basic white cardstock for the base because there are quite a few layers on this one. So it'll make it a nice weighty card. So that gives you a little bit of an 1/8 of an inch border there. Okay, now we're going to take the designer series paper. So this piece measures 5 1/2 by 1 5/8, and this piece measures 5 1/2 by 1 1/2. So why is it doing that? Blobbing out. So I want a border on the top and the bottom only. But if you like a border all the way around, but you're going to cut the ends off, so it really doesn't matter. And then this piece, the polka dot piece, measures 3 by 2 1/2. So we're going to kind of center this, but on the top half of the card there. Like that. Then I'm going to put glue, but I'm mostly putting glue in the middle, not so much on the ends as I put it on the ends. And you can angle it as little or as much as you want, but you want it long enough. If you want to angle it more, you want it long enough that the ends go off. So I don't have to measure. I mean, you could measure and angle it and cut it, but this is the easiest way I know. Then I just put it down, let it give it a second to dry, and then I flip it over and cut it. But if you want to angle it ahead of time, for me, I'm all about simpler. So, and then it gives you that nice angled. Then I am going to put some of this crinkled, what is this called? Crinkled seam binding ribbon. And give it a bow. Now, if you don't want to, if you want to save ribbon, yeah, let me get my ribbon scissors. And you can, you know, just stick it on underneath adhesive and not do it all the way around. I'm gonna make a bow. I just want to see if there we go. They're even. There we go. Let's tie a bow. Let me tie it this way. Cindy, did it warm up by you? Are you still with me? Did it warm up by you? I hope you didn't have any pipes burst. My daughter had a heck of a time. Unfortunately, now the insurance company's giving her a hard time. But it'll all work out. Okay. Let me trim that. Maybe make that smaller. It's a bit big. Sometimes I like them big and floppy, but... Okay, let me scoot that over just a hair. Okay, no fussing. All right, now it's your birthday. And that's part of this Darling Donkey set. Let me get my little block here. It's the teeniest, tiniest little. And I just used, where's my memento? Right here. Sorry if you hear my dog whinging. He's mad I locked him out tonight. Let's see. There you go. Oh, this says you're the best. Not your birthday. I grabbed the wrong one. Well, let's try that again. Well, we can have you're the best, I suppose. Have a variety. But I did want it's your birthday. seem to be needing birthdays and thank yous. I went through a ton of them recently. Let's see. Do it again. And then we can. Oh, of course, that one comes crooked. Well, you're the best it is. I'm not going to fuss over that. Okay, let me get it cut off here. And I just gave it a little angle. How'd I do it? I think up. Yeah. There we go. And then I just took a piece of black cardstock to back it a little bit. Actually, let's just glue that on there. My glue is being funny and it doesn't want to come out, and then when I squeeze it, it comes out. Come on, dude. Don't give me a hard time. There we go. Man, that was trying to give me a hard time. Not allowed. Give it a second to glue down. And then just make whatever border, how large you want it. Just follow where you had it. There you go. Super easy. Okay, let's put our donkey on here. I put him on with dimensionals. I put him on first. Where are my dimensionals? Here they are. Just going to put them on the bottom and the top so your ribbon runs through the center. There we go. And I'll put the dimensions. I do not have the blog ready yet, the post, but I will do it tomorrow morning. It'll go up no later than tomorrow afternoon. Okay, there's the donkey. I like that bow needs to be slightly smaller. And then this we're just going to glue flat. And I had this meet up with the edge of the designer series paper, the flat end. And I wanted the upward curve kind of go around the curve of the oval. And then this is going to go on our card base. There we go. There we go. And then this polka dot could be your pull-in from that because there's just a little bit of that polka dot designer series paper. There we go. Do the same thing. You know, this is one extra step when you're doing a card. I started doing this lately. I just feel like it's so much easier than going back and trying to stamp your cards to coordinate with your, stamp your envelopes to coordinate with your cards after you've, sometimes I've made my cards months ago and now I'm going back to do the envelope. So I decided I'm going to do the envelopes right with them, put them all together, store them that way and be done. There we go. And that one's complete. How's that for you? Stick that there. So that's card number 2. How are we doing for time? We got one more. And this one I used, the stamp set I used for this one is the Dragonfly. This is a little bit darker, but I loved this green leaf. That was the flip side of the daisy. So, and I pre-cut this, so this was a daisy, but there was something about this side I really liked. So I just simply stamped. Again, you could color this in. I used the Stampin' Write markers, but you can easily do this with colored pencils or something else. So that's a pretty easy one. Now this one we started with a black card base. Again, pretty much all mine folded on the side. So that means that it's 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So So I'll put that up there. See, I'm not capping my glue and then I'm complaining about it. Now this is a piece of Granny Apple Green that measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then this cardstock measures 5 1/8 by 4. I'm going to put the glue on the daisy side because I want the sticky fingers. Because I want the green leaf side. Okay, now this is the largest of the stitched shape circles. And this is again, that little red flower, the reverse side. But I'm going to offset it a little bit because I want to cut it. So we're going to put glue on most of it, but not all of it. And we're going to kind of put it here. No, hi Wendy, how are you, honey? So now this is a stitched, I'll let that dry over there a second before we cut it. This is a stitched rectangle and this is basic white. And I'm just going to take this stamp from the Dragonfly Garden. It's that tall wildflower stamp. And I'm going to stamp it with Memento. I know I made it crooked. I always do that. Not sure why. Habit. There we go. And then we're going to just quickly color it in. Now the colors I was using are Granny Apple Green, I have Daffodil Delight, a little Flirty Flamingo, and we're just going to go quick. I mean, these are so tiny. You could probably just stamp it in the color if you wanted. I just wanted a little bit of color, especially like the green and a little bit of that yellow to pop out. How's the hospital, Miss Wendy? COVID has had me out of work since last April. So thank goodness, thank God, I finally have a job. I'll be starting in about a week. So that's really nice. I did home health, physical therapy, but you know, nobody wants you in and out of their house during everything going on with COVID. So, how did I color that one? Let me see. I think I used the dark here. New world for us that are in the healthcare field with COVID. Hopefully it's coming to an end though soon. I'm hoping. You could also shade with Mango Melody. I'm not really fussing on that. What else did I do? Yellow. Let's see. Let's use the lighter yellow. Here, I forgot this one. All right, let's use some of this pink. These are so tiny, it's super hard. I just want to add a little bit of color, that's all. I have no idea if I'm really like in those little lines or not. It's super small. I just wanted a little bit of color. These don't even have. There we go. Oh, here's more. And a little pink up there. Just wanted spring, fresh, clean, little crisp. Oh, that's in my bad end. I mashed on my brush end of that. I need a new marker. Okay, good enough. Teeny tiny, told you. Oh, let's see, this is like crumb cake. Only one thing I want to do. I don't even know if I could be bothered with some of these. There you go. Okay, so this is dry now, so we're going to flip it over, cut that part of the circle off. There you go. Done with that. Now the only other thing we have to do is the sentiment. And I wanted another thank you card. So thank you for your kindness is one of the sentiments in the stamp set. So I did it with white embossing powder because I like to emboss, but if you didn't, you could use the white craft ink. And actually, I just saw one of the UK demonstrators uses the white craft ink, and instead of Versamark, when she embossed, she said it gives you a whiter. I have not tried that yet. Probably could have. But she uses white craft ink instead of Versamark, and then the embossing powder, she thinks it makes it a whiter white with dimension-like embossing powder. So. Okay. Put that away, hit it with a gun, trim it up, and we're good to go. There we go. All right. I think I'll pull my paper trimmer. Make sure I get it straight. There we go. Maybe we could cut a little bit of that off. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, let's assemble. So this I popped up with dimensionals. I go through more dimensionals. Here we go. I know, it is a trick, is not, to stay safe. I'm praying that this will be eradicated soon. All right. So I wanted enough of that pretty, what is it called? Bumblebee. To stick out. So we're going to need one on the end. You're going to need, because this is popped up, so we're going to glue this half, and you need a dimensional on this half. That's what I was trying to say. Gonna get my words out straight. There we go. And then I used pearls for this one. So these itty bitty ones. And then I skipped the middle ones. I have giant ones and itty bitty ones. So waste not, want not. You have to use what you have. I just put a couple here and there. I tried to hit the black part of the paper. Oops, sequin came flying from somewhere. There we go. So now I just put it on my black card base. did do the insides of these. Oh no, I lacked this one. This one we need a white piece for inside. See, I slacked on the last one. I didn't do the inside. Now sometimes what you can do, what I have done at times, let me see the inside, I have one up here. What you can do sometimes, instead of adhering it down, if you didn't want to, sometimes I just leave it in here. That way when you're ready to stamp it, you can stamp it. That way if you make a mistake, you could always like flip it over. So that's one way to do it. That way it's in there. And you have it, it's pre-cut, it's ready to go. But, okay, so let me put this on the back of this one so I can put it up on the blog in the morning. And then this will be the last envelope. So just random card sketches kind of that I just came up with. That way you can use the most of your designer series paper. You know, it's all about coordination too, with me and Stampin' Up. When I discovered the product coordination with Stampin' Up, I was in love because I'm a coordinated kind of gal. I try to be anyway. Yeah, especially like with something like that, like a black or something, because, you know, sometimes I'll stamp it, it'll be a little crooked, and then I'll be mad and it's already down, and then you have to try and get another layer to go on top. So if you leave it like that till you're ready to stamp it, then if you make a mistake, you're good to go. Okay, let's clear all this off. And I'll post tomorrow, I'll post the measurements, and hope we'll have a sunny morning. I'll take some pictures. So here. So we have, oh, let me take that off. Here's the thank you. Got that coordinating card. Let me put that one behind there. Here's that one, and then here is the donkey. So again, just trying to play up the designer series paper. And y'all see that okay? There you go. Okay. Let me flip you guys around. Thank you so much for, oops, you don't want to see my shelf, for joining me this evening. I do enjoy having you guys. And again, we're having a blog hop on Saturday, so hop over to our blogs and hop through, be eligible for a free gift. And there's always so many really great projects. So I will see you guys next Thursday. I hope you all have a blessed week. Stay safe out there and take care. Good night.